Hello again, everybody. Zack Attack is here with my WWE Raw review for tonight's Monday, November the 17th, 2014. Of course, the last Raw before Survivor Series. Of course, live tonight. I don't know where Raw was tonight. Was it New Orleans or something? I don't know where Raw was tonight. Usually I know where it is, but it wasn't the case for this week. Heading towards Survivor Series, go home show before the pay-per-view. It was decent event at that. Some decent action tonight, and we still will have a lot of matches for Survivor Series. But at least we had one match to Survivor Series tonight. But we still need more. Maybe they're gonna add some surprise matches during the main card, including another traditional Survivor Series match. And as you see by the subtitle, we begin Raw with a new IC champion being crowned. As we start the Authorities' decimation of Team Cena and trying to have their divide and conquer plan. Plan 1 was Dolph Ziggler. Now heading into Raw tonight, at the beginning of Raw, it was 5-on-4 with the Authorities stacked with Captain Seth Rollins, yes, Kane, Mark Henry, Rusev, and the newest member, recently officially announced, after attacking Dolph Ziggler last week, Luke Harper. And also to begin Raw, we would have Team Cena, John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Big Show, and Sheamus. And within the course of the evening, the status of John Cena's team members would be up and down throughout the evening, starting with Dolph Ziggler, as he was put in a match against Luke Harper, following a segment with the Authority blabbing about dominating the victory, talking about their impending victory on the WWE Network for only, free this month for new subscribers. But I'm still paying $9.99. Hate me all you want, but I have to share. You call me a Mark, whatever you want. Anyway, so have the Authority have their little speech about the dominance and about trolling the fan. I want to see Authority go. There's somebody that wants to see him go and there's somebody that doesn't. Because the side that wants him to stay, there's only a little bit of side that wants me to stay because heel GMs do better than babyface GMs or babyface authority figures, unless you're Mick Foley. I think Mick Foley was like the only babyface authority figure that could actually get away with it. And he was a really good babyface authority figure when he was the commissioner. Probably in my mind, one of my favorite commissioners. Probably the best commissioner in WWE history. It was so on the WWE Countdown. On the WWE Network. I'll shut up now. I don't do as much shilling as they do. Besides, despite the fact I'm wearing the shirt. Anyway, I'm giving a free advertising by this. So, I have it, so. Anyway. So, the Authority plays their characters well. I've been saying that on my reviews the last couple of months, is that they played their role so well and troll the fans so well. There's something that wants to see him gone. Because they're getting sick and tired and we need something new. We need a new authority figure. Whether it's babyface or heel, we do need a new authority figure to run things. So, at the night we would, like I said, see Dolph Ziggler against Luke Harper. That match was made earlier in the afternoon on WWE.com. But it was made immediately, without prior warning, to an Intercontinental Championship match. And just before the match started, Seth Rollins, who stuck around to do commentary along with his security cronies, Mr. Joey Mercury and Jimmy Noble, they came in from behind and attacked Ziggler, pummeling him in a triple theme along with Harper until Seth Rollins came in with the Money in the Bank briefcase. It looked like it was going to be a quick match, with Harper immediately stealing the Intercontinental Championship. But to get it, he had to fight for it, as Dolph Ziggler would immediately kick out from that pin, and it was a decent matchup with him and Harper, despite being pummeled in the early going. Before the match, the premeditated pre-match attack by Seth Rollins and his security cronies, Ziggler tried his humble best, tried violently to regain his championship and try to fight the odds. Battling against all odds to retain his title. He did his big moves, threw the big kicks, of course the famouser. He did try for zigzag a few times, but he couldn't get it done. And once Luke Harper gets that clothesline on you, it's over. Because Luke Harper has one of the most vicious clotheslines next to JBL and Ryback. So after that vicious clothesline, he tried it a few times, but he finally connected that clothesline after a big kick. 1, 2, 3. New Intercontinental Champion, Luke Harper. Now, on my Tech Sports today, I read an article today that Luke Harper was poised for a title win. Possibly an Intercontinental title win. After the attack on Dolph Ziggler last week, signaling him as a member of the Authority's team in Survivor Series, it was going to be a perfect seed planning for a possible feud against Dolph Ziggler. I did not think the title change was going to happen immediately. They should have had these two guys on opposite sides, tease the feud during the match at Survivor Series, and then have the title change maybe next week. But to have it done now with no buzz, just have them get the title immediately with no prior build up to it, after only 1 week of him beating up on Ziggler, it's kind of a weird thing to do. And look at this other statistic that's kind of weird. That of all the members of the Wyatt family to get a singles title first, it's not Bray. It's Luke Harper. Now, I've been saying it for months that Luke Harper was my other favorite member of the Wyatt family besides Bray Wyatt. Luke he's a tall guy, he's a big guy, but for his height and weight, he's not as clumsy or goony like the great Khali. Na, hey Khali, goodbye, good riddance. Hornswoggle, you're next. They can release Khali, they can fire Hornswoggle, please. Ain't El Torito. Ain't anything comical. So there you go. With Harper being the new IC, I think it's interesting. Because like I said, I've been applauding Harper for months as my favorite member of the Wyatt family besides Bray. He's a decent wrestler, he's a decent brawler, and he's had great mic skills. He's probably as good on the mic as Bray. Been saying that for months. And now, seeing the Wyatt separate, I think the Wyatt separation will be just like the Shield separation. Everyone will benefit better from being a solo act than being on a team. Look what happened with the Shield when they broke up. Where even though Roman Reigns is currently out with an injury, the other two guys are benefiting pretty well. Dean Ambrose has had great fights with Seth Rollins, and I think his match against Bray will be interesting at Survivor Series. Get to them in a moment. And of course, Seth Rollins is pretty much the golden seller boy. Although it's tough to have the money in a big briefcase when there's no champion to cash in on. Because he's lazy and doesn't like to defend a title every fucking month. Talking to you last night. So anyway, since the main titles are on the line, all the secondary titles are getting much more respect. And now with Luke Harper's new IC champion, we'll see how that goes. I think it'll be interesting. As much as I hate to see Dolph Ziggler lose a championship, it is interesting to see a new champion in Luke Harper. It'll be interesting to see how he does as a solo competitor. Will he do as well as a solo guy as he did with a team? We shall see. But it looks like signs are pointing in the right direction for Luke Harper. The future's so bright, he's got to wear shade. He's on Team Authority at Survivor Series, and he's a new IC champion. And after that match, Dolph Ziggler got curb stomped and carried out of the arena. And Dolph Ziggler's status was up in the air for Survivor Series at that moment. So as we shall see if Team Cena can overcome the odds and the planned assault on them with the Divide and Conquer plan started by the Authority, we would start to continue our Wall show with another continuing situation. A feud could be developing, or I should say a heel turn, with Adam Rose taking on Tyson Kidd again this week after getting distracted last week with the Bunny. And we've seen the issues with Adam Rose and the Bunny, with Bunny distracting Adam Rose unintentionally, costing him matches. And once again, Bunny did just that. He even did the crowd stuffing thing that Adam Rose normally does. And I love seeing Tyson Kidd back on the main roster again. You know, I've been watching NXT on the net. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to advertise and cheap plug the network as much as they do. Try not to be one of those guys. Even though I'm wearing the shit. You know, so make fun of me all you want. Anyway, love seeing Tyson Kidd on the main roster again. He's looking good at NXT. Love his new character development. The fact, you know. And despite Tyson Kidd's great efforts, of course, Animal got distracted once again, despite having a little bit of fear in his OK matchup with the Bunny, tricking it in front of Natty, Natalie, who's Tyson Kidd's wife. And once again, the distraction cost Tyson Kidd, well, he helped Tyson Kidd get the sharpshooter on Mr. Wells in the 1-2-3 tap out. For Wells losing once again to the stretching of the bunny. And like the last 2 weeks, Adam Wells was trying to beat up the bunny again. But then the bunny this time fought back. He actually clotheslined Wells. I said it last week on my review that Adam Wells is going to turn heel. You know what I mean? I think Adam Wells is going to turn heel. I said it when he first debuted that his character can only take him so far. You know, he came in with a good buzz and now he's a jobber. And I think him being a heel and changing up his character would be really good. Speaking of changing their characters, we've been seeing these promos for the last couple weeks involving Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston. Now, there have been rumors about a new Nation of Domination for the last couple months, and I think those rumors may turn into fact. As we saw tonight, those two again, but now Big E's now involved, making this a true Nation of Domination to, or as they call themselves, The New Day. That's what I think the team name is, The New Day. We've been seeing these promos for the last couple weeks. And it's going to be intriguing to see these three in a team. And as heels. They needed a character change big time. They were both stuck and took their characters as far as they can go. You know, Kofi Kingston, the happy-go-lucky African guy who had been stuck in the mid-card. Forever in the mid-card, it looked like, with his character being so stale. Now, and Big E looked like the same way. You know, stuck in the mid-card unless he changes his character. Same with Xavier Woods. All three guys realize that you don't succeed by being the same old generic babyface characters. You need to have an identity. You need to have a good new character and play a nasty heel to reestablish yourselves. And that's what I think they're going to do with this New Day storyline, this New Day group. We'll see how they do in this new group where they eventually make their debut. It'll be very intriguing to see this unfold. Now on to the next segment involving Bray Wyatt coming out, talking about his match against Dean Ambrose. Talk about how your own is so and he should have Dean saved or whatever. Once again, Bray delivered another great promo. Installing Dean Ambrose up on the screen. Saying that Bray, you've been playing these mind games recently? Well, I'm going to play a mind game of my own. You see, this video ain't actually live. This was actually pre-recorded. And I'm in the arena right now and bang. Lights came back on and there was Dean Ambrose delivering a piece of Bray's medicine, attacking Bray from behind, distracting with that pre-taped video, knocking him out of the ring, and getting fired up for Survivor Series. Now, they should have been in a Survivor Series match instead of a one-on-one match immediately. But I say this. There's going to be disqualification or count-out victory. And they're going to have a proper rematch at TLC in a stipulation match. Now, I'm hearing rumors that the Ascension may come in as the new cronies for Bray Wyatt since he got rid of Luke, Harper, and Warren. And I'll be interested to see Ascension finally get on the main roster. I want to see a lot of these NXT guys go on the main roster soon, like the Ascension and Tyson Kidd now on the main roster. But people like Sami Zayn, either he becomes NXT champion or he goes to the main roster. One of those things is going to happen in the next couple of weeks. But now on to our next matchup. Ryback, who at the beginning of Raw was undecided on a team. Now he was looking like he was going to be on Team Authority. Like both Team Authority and Cena, he's like the hottest free agent for both teams. They wanted a piece of Ryback. And Authority thought they had a piece of Ryback. But Ryback denied them. And also denied John Cena at the moment. Saying he's on his own team. Team Ryback. So Ryback would be in a matchup against Cesaro. Now, speaking of a guy that needs a direction, needs a new, maybe not a new character, but maybe another push, would be Cesaro. Now I thought it would be an easy squash for Ryback, because I love Cesaro, but I thought since Ryback's going to get a big push, Ryback was going to get a big squasher. But Cesaro looked really good. It was actually a very long match, actually. The next match was short. That was Rusev's match. Anyway, getting cold in here. Allergies acting up again. So, we would see Cesaro looked really good in this match, like I said. You know, he had some great offensive moves. And it was actually a pretty good match. For being a Ryback match, it was actually pretty good. Because Ryback had a good person to work with. One of the best pure athletic wrestlers on the roster. They needed to take advantage of Cesaro. You know, this year should have been Cesaro's year to really break out. He had some great feuds with Sheamus this year. He just got off a great feud with Dolph Ziggler for the IC Championship. But Cesaro has had some missteps. The biggest one in my mind being the Paul Heyman guy. Because I thought being a Paul Heyman guy would be a good thing for him. But ended up being a misstep because all Paul Heyman talked about was Brock Lesnar. And he took Brock Lesnar to the championship, not Cesaro. Because Paul Heyman was too infatuated with Brock Lesnar. Because every time you heard Paul Heyman talk, it was all about Lesnar, not Cesaro. That's what I felt. So, despite Cesaro's best efforts, he looked really good. Delivered some nasty uppercuts. And really delivered a good match with Ryback of all people. Cesaro, to me, he reminds me of Punk and Daniel Bryan. Two guys who can have a good match with just anybody. No matter who they face, they can make a good match out of anybody. And that's what Cesaro did with Ryback. And that's what he's used for. But he should be used a lot more as a main eventer, not a mid-carder. And that's where he is right now. You know? So anyway, despite Cesaro's best efforts in looking good, Ryback was one looking good. And Cesaro was going for the neutralizer. Ryback counted into the shell shock in the 1-2-3 victory for Ryback in this decent matchup. Ryback looked okay in this match too. But he made Cesaro look really good in this match. Cesaro made Ryback look really good in this matchup as well. Both guys made each other look good. That's what good wrestlers do. They don't one-up each other. They push each other and get each other over. So that's what good wrestlers should do instead of one burying people like John Cena does most of the time. So there you go. The hunt to a man who will be opposing Cena's team at Survivor Series being Rusev, destroying Heath Slater. Now that match was what I thought the Ryback match was going to be. Short. And it was. It was like, what, 10 seconds. He just destroyed Heath Slater in his Uncle Sam outfit. Punch, kick, accolade, done. But it won't be the last we would see of Rusev this evening. As Rusev would, of course, dominate again in a squasher. Now, Rusev's okay. You know, him as U.S. champion, we shall see how far it goes. Now, on to our next matchup. Before we get to that, the guest stars need to stop. Like, guest stars are okay. Like, Kevin Hart being on it, fine. But when you have a fucking internet meme guest star, that's what you call it. Jumping the shark. Grumpy Cat was a special guest tonight. In the words of Miz, who was actually interacting with Grumpy Cat tonight, really, Grumpy Cat. And then next we got Larry the Cable Guy guest hosting Raw. That one I can live with. You know, because I'm a comedy fan. I'm a huge fan of Larry the Cable Guy and the Blue Collar Group. You know, him and Jeff Foxworthy being involved. Ron White, who I'm probably going to see next year. But that's another topic for another day. In another video. It's not a topic about wrestling. So let's go on after that Grumpy Cat thing. Thought that you would see some Grumpy Cat sketch with Miz and Mizdow. We got, of course, a segment involving Big Show coming out. Being interrupted by Stephanie talking about Big Show. Hey, join us. Back out. Tell Cena no. And then Sheamus came out saying, hey, we're not going to tell Cena no. We're going to take you down Sunday. And Stephanie's like, well, you two have a match right now. Against each other, the winner gets a title shot. When that stipulation was made, I was like, I knew exactly where this was going to go. A DQ or a count out because none of these guys deserve a title shot right now. Because Cena's the one that's going to get a title shot eventually when Brock Lesnar decides to get off his lazy fucking ass. He decides to defend his damn title. So, we would see Sheamus against Big Show, two guys who are supposed to be on John Cena's team, facing off. And once again, the Authorities game plan to divide and conquer and destroy Cena's team before we even get to Survivor Series. And the plan was working in the beginning, and it worked once again during this match against Sheamus and Big Show. It's okay of a matchup. You know, two guys who just punch, kick, and just do some clothesline, especially with Big Show being less agile as he is. You know, like I said, I was talking about Luke Harper earlier. He's tall, but he doesn't walk like a goon. He's not stiff. He's not like Big Show walks like a goon. Well, it's because he's not as heavy as Big Show. And Big Show was really agile about 10 years ago. I've been saying that for months as well. The Big Show was more agile 10 years ago, same with Mark Henry, and that's why the feud's been kind of boring because they have a limited mobility. That's key what I'm looking for, limited mobility. And Sheamus did okay against Big Show despite these guys feuding off. And Sheamus did try the pro kick a few times, but he got chokeslammed. But he did get the big guy down. Both guys were trying to brawl it out despite being on the same team. Looking like they were going to get a title shot, but like I said, I knew that Team Authority would come out to cause the DQ because these guys don't deserve a title shot. Boy, oh boy, did they come out. They, being two of the 5 members, Rusev and Mark Henry, coming out, causing disqualification, with Rusev taking care of Big Show, putting him in the accolade, with Mark Henry delivering the world's strongest slam to Sheamus. With both guys being called out, and Sheamus being out of the match. Sheamus will no longer be a part of Cena's team at Survivor Series. His storyline went out after the world's strongest slam on the table, on the announce table, by Big Show's former rival, his former friend, Mark Henry. So, let's continue on with the match. Now, next matchup will be involving Brie Bella, dressed up like AJ, taking on Nikki Bella, the woman who will take on the real AJ, who was on commentary this Sunday at Survivor Series for the Divas title. Now, it's this exhibition match. This is, of course, Brie still Nikki's personal assistant for 8 more days. And this whole storyline after Nikki beat Brie at Hell in a Cell, with the loser being the winner's assistant for a month. And that's what Brie's done. And Brie tried to comply. It looked like Brie was going to be forced to kind of lay down for Nikki. It looked like that. It's hey, because Nikki's the master and Brie's the slave in this case. You know, being the personal assistant / slave, whatever you want to call it. Or as Nikki calls it, revenge for being punished and humiliated when Brie left the company storyline-wise when she quit on the company back in June. And then AJ got involved because she was sick and tired of Nikki playing games and throwing around and treating her sister like shit. So with AJ's distraction on Nikki, Brie got the roll up in the victory. Something that Nikki did not expect. And it's kind of funny to see the wives of CM Punk and Daniel Bryan standing tall, when both those guys are not even in the company right now. One quit or retired, and one is injured. Now, CM Punk is dissing his fans for not caring for him more, that he's retired and he's had so many health problems. Hey, this guy battled a lot for you. At least they're not chanting his name anymore. That's a good thing. I think everyone's like, oh, he's not coming back. You know, he's had so much pain and abuse on his body. He needs time off for himself, you know. Needs to take care of him and not take care of entertaining the universe, you know. So I respect CM Punk's decision to leave. Hey, if he doesn't want to go through the pain again, hey, take a few years off. Maybe come back, but we'll see. But, you know, everybody else who wants him to come back, get the fuck over it. That's what he's saying to everybody. But then AJ would have the last laugh, delivering both big moves to both Nikki and Brie. Despite Brie looking like she was doing the yes thing, and then bang, AJ would knock her out as well. So there you go. Now, we of course, as we walked into the Raw tonight, we had only 3 matches for the Survivor Series. You know, a week away, we only had 3 matches. Now we have 4 matches on the main card. We also got Fandango Wrestling on the pre-show, and I was thinking about him over the weekend. I was watching old wrestling clips, and I was like, when's Bad News Bear going to come back? Well, he's going to be coming back on the pre-show this Sunday at Survivor Series. Be cool to see Bad News Bear back, deliver some bad news. But we do have some good news. Like I said, another match has been added to the main card. A Fatal 4-Way title match. Now, this would have been way better as a Survivor Series match. You know, add a 5th guy for each team, and it would have been fine. But we're going to have a Fatal 4-Way tag team title match with the Stardust and Goldust team defending the titles against Miz Dow and Miz, Usos, and Los Matadors. Makes sense to have all these 4 guys. You know, Usos need a title shot because they're the only good team left in the main tag team roster. Priest bring the Ascension in. And Los Matadores got a non-title win over Gold and Stardust recently because I think they had like an argument with Miz Dow and Miz. That's why they're in it too. Once again, like for the last couple weeks, they were cheering on Miz Dow. And I love what they're doing. You know, they're teasing him. You know, like every time Miz Dow gets tagged in, Miz tags himself back in. You know, I do like the teasing. But one day, Miz Dow's going to pull off the ultimate stunt. It's called a double cross. And finally get the push that he so shall deserves. Instead of being Mrs. Latchkey, he's got a t-shirt now. Stunt double. That is kind of funny. At least they're benefiting from it. Like I said, Miz Dow is laughing all the way to the bank. You know what I mean? I've been applauding the fact he's been taking this character so well, and I hope it does something for him. I hope he really get something out of it. You know, you don't get something for nothing. You know, he's got to get something for being this character. You know, like I said, another big push and finally get the main event spot that he's so sweet to deserve because he's a great athlete like Cesaro. So good. Decent tag team match, but it was mostly Los Matadores was the one in the corner getting pummeled the entire evening. Usos didn't get in the match much. You know, they had a little bit near towards the end of the match. Usos finally got in after one most Los Matadores is basically being isolated in the corner of the heels throughout the entire match. And Golden Stardust was dominating, and of course Miz refusing to let Miz down in. He took over as well. Like I said, a double cross could be incoming. But would it be funny if Miz now wins the titles for him and Miz this Sunday? That'd be interesting to see them as tag team champions. Be a whole lot of interesting. We'll see what goes down Sunday. As of course, the ending was very chaotic with a lot of finishing moves. You know what I mean? With the backstabber from Diego. Hey, it's Primo and Epico. Under those masks. Then we would have, of course, Big Uso flying moves. We also see a skull crushing finale. Big wild finish. Leading off with the Dark Commander from Goldust. Says partner Stardust. And a 1-2-3 victory for Stardust and his team. But they had a little stare down with Miz down and Miz. That they're not going to lose these titles this Sunday. We shall see what goes down this Sunday in the match for the Fatal 4-Way for the tag team titles. See if Star and Goldust retains. I would like to see new champions. I think Star and Goldust have been okay champions. As these characters, you know, they were tag team champions before when Cody Rhodes was still Cody Rhodes and not Stardust. But it's kind of revitalized his career. Like Miz now, who used to team up with Cody Rhodes. World Scholars, a great tag team that should have had a tag team title run at least one time when they were a tag team. There's another fuck up that WWE needs to replicate one day. They kind of fucked up on that. They should have World Scholars at least have won a tag team champion because they're a really good tag team. That both Miz Dow and Cody Rhodes are taking these characters and running with it. You know, Miz Dow and of course Cody Rhodes and Stardust. So I've done a Fatal 4-Way. Like I said, we need more matches added to Survivor Series. We only have 4 matches right now. Hope there's a last-minute Survivor Series match with all the other guys in the roster. Maybe see some NXT guys in there. Who knows? But now on to the last segment, the contract signing. Now heading into this contract signing, it looked like Cena was all by his horse. With Ziggler and Big Show laid out early in the evening, and Sheamus being out of the match entirely, it looked like it was going to be a 5-on-1 scenario for John Cena at Survivor Series. He's like, hey, I don't care if it's 5-on-1, 5-on-5, who cares if I need to get 4 guys from the back or even 4 people from the crowd. My motto is simple. Never give up, even though I'm still a shit. I'm still never going to give up. I'm still going to take you guys down. It doesn't matter if it's 1 or 5. I will take down the Authority and you guys will be no longer in power. So Cena talked his little smack. And so did the Authority talking their little smack. But then here comes Dolph Ziggler and Big Show. Coming down to the rescue. Recovering from their injuries. From their attacks early in the evening. The Authority's plan of Divide and Conquer worked well. But it looked like it didn't really get the job done as both Ziggler and Big Show were still standing. But they got rid of Sheamus. So who was going to take Sheamus' spot? I thought maybe Randy Orton would come back early from his movie, but that's not the case. He still went out with a concussion. So we would see a big surprise come in. Now, we knew Ryback was going to eventually join John Cena's team. It became a long and winding process with him teasing on the Authority's team and then wanting to be on his own side, but then Ryback would eventually join Team Cena. I predicted that last week, and also my Attack Sports today, and I was right. But there was a surprise. It wasn't Orton. It was Warren. Yes, Eric Warren is now on the Team Cena. Now that's a whole lot of interesting right there. Is that Harper and Warren were former tag team members. Now basically, Eric Warren is a babyface, basically. And for a guy who was on the Wyatt family, who feuded with Cena, against Cena, earlier in the year, to be on Cena's side, it kind of felt a little weird. To have Cena and Eric Warren on the same page, on the same team. And the look on Eric Rollins' former partner Harper's face was priceless, especially now he's the new IC champion. That Luke Harper might be the Shawn Michaels to Eric Rollins, Marty Jannetty. Because Rollins okay. You know he's a big guy as well. And I wonder what the fuck he's been up to. You know, you've been seeing him make appearances the last couple weeks. Apparently stalking Renee Young, apparently. Chasing people. You saw him again in the back, but now you see him as a babyface. We've seen him. Still being creepy, but a babyface. And with all 5 guys in place for Team Cena, they pummeled the hell of the Authorities team. And even Cena got the big last laugh as he FU'd Triple H through a table that was set up for the contract to be signed. So there you go. Your final decimate. The final teams that are set for Survivor Series main event. Team Cena. It's John Cena, Dolph Ziggler, Big Show, Luke Harper's former partner Eric Warren, and Ryback. Now, Team Authority. You got Seth Rollins, Kane, Mark Henry, the United States Champion Rusev, and the new Intercontinental Champion, Luke Harper. So, like, just imagine Team Cena having... What would have happened if Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan didn't get injured? Maybe they would have been on Cena's team. But hey, shit happens at WWE. They have to go with new plans when people get injured. In that right, UFC, you had a tough year of your injuries. You know, Bones and Cormier getting postponed, all these great main events getting canceled because guys get injured. Hey, that's what's happening at WWE this year as well. All the top guys are getting injured, or in Punk's case, left the company. So, like I said, it's been an interesting, tough time to be a WWE fan right now. But hey, there are some few bright spots, especially NXT guys coming up. We could to see them on the main roster when they do get up there. Watching them on NXT, and also to see the new guys. Love to see Sami Zayn up there. I think he'd be a great fit in the company. Same with Adrian Neville in the Ascension. He'd be a dominant tag team in the tag team division on the main roster. Maybe to be a Bray Wyatt. But we see what happens this Sunday with the 4 matches that are set. And maybe more to be added last minute during the pay-per-view. And of course, the pre-show as well with Bad News Bear being involved, and Fandango being involved, and Paul Heyman on the panel again. Since his client is sitting on his fat ass. So there you go. And not defending his title. That's the big con about Lesnar being champion. He won't defend it a lot. So there you go. It is up to the rest of the roster to step up their game. And that's what most of them are doing right now, especially with new IC champion and all that stuff. So we'll see what goes down this Sunday at Survivor Series, as they have no major title main event. But I think the Team Cena Authority match will do just fine. And that is it for my Raw review for this evening. Thank you all very much for watching. With that in mind, y'all been attacked by the review from Zach. See you all later. Oh yeah.